I've hired hundreds of people at companies like LinkedIn and Pinterest and Microsoft and the Wall Street Journal. To have hired hundreds of people means I've interviewed thousands of people, and to interview thousands of people means I've probably reviewed tens of thousands of resumes and applications. And one thing I see really qualified candidates doing all the time is making it really hard for hiring managers to see if they're qualified. See, hiring managers are generally really busy. Not only do they have to review applications and interview candidates for the jobs they're trying to fill, but they have all their day-to-day responsibilities, right? They have to meet with their teams, they need to review projects, they need to approve budgets, and they're usually trying to find time in a very busy schedule to review all of the resumes and applications that have come in. Now, most hiring managers are using some kind of a tool. They're typically called application tracking systems. There are a few of these that are pretty popular, Lever and Greenhouse, but they all generally work in the same way in that they will show you how many applications you have for your current opening. And it actually provides a pretty nice way to review each application. And you have three choices with each application. You can either advance the application to the next stage, you can either reject the application, or you can skip it and review it later. Now, you might think that reject is the worst outcome. And if you really want the job, sure, that's not a great thing. However, getting put into the skip and review later bucket is actually probably worse than reject. The reason is that at least when you get rejected, you know that you usually get some kind of notification that we're not considering you for the position, and you can now move on and focus your attention on other things. If you get put into the skip and review later bucket, that's usually where a manager is thinking, I don't have time to look at this resume right now for a whole lot of reasons. Maybe it's organized in a hard way, or it's going to take me a while to kind of sort through this stuff. I'll review it later. I don't have time because I know I have another 25 applications I have to look at, and I only have 20 minutes to do it. So I'll set this one aside for when I have more time. And guess what? You never have more time. All the applications I don't get to today, they just fall onto tomorrow's list, and tomorrow a bunch of new applications come in as well. So often applications and resumes that go into that skip and review later bucket, they never get touched. And as a result, as a candidate, you never really know where you stand. And so you might be spending mental energy and emotional energy thinking that you're still in the running for this position, when in reality you're sitting in a bucket that says skip and review later. So how do you stay out of the skip and review later bucket? Think about how you can make it really easy for a hiring manager to either advance you, that's the ideal outcome, or reject you so that you know you can move on. A lot of resume coaches and professional resume writers, they often have candidates do all kinds of crazy things. Change the layouts, put these sidebars on, or put a big block of text, professional summary, or they might have a big headline that says something like seasoned executive, passionate about results. As a hiring manager, you don't have time to weed through all that stuff. You want to find out in 5 seconds or less, is this person qualified for the job that I have to hire for? And to get that answer, I'm going to look right to the work experience. I want to see, where has this person worked? What kind of jobs have they had? And does that match what I'm looking for in a candidate? So the resumes that start with the work experience right up top, they do away with all of the fluff. There's no fluffy headline. There's no big block of professional summary stuff or a bunch of keywords that I'm not going to read. They don't have a weird layout that forces me to figure out where is their information here. They make it really easy for me to look and say, yes, this person has worked at the types of companies that are in my space or in my industry, or they've had the types of jobs that would give them the skills for this type of role that I'm hiring for, and I can see how long they've had it. So don't do all that stuff. Don't put all those speed bumps up at the top of your resume. Don't get creative with a layout. It might help you stand out, but for all the wrong reasons. If I look at that and I think, man, I don't even know how to find their experience, I'm going to have to put them in that skip bucket. And again, that is the worst place to be. Don't do that. Make it really easy. In most cases, boring is better when it comes to resumes because you're trying to help a hiring manager approve you in 5 seconds or less. That is the magic here. So put your work experience right up top. Have your name, have a way to contact you, jump right into work experience. When people are reviewing, when hiring managers are reviewing these applications, and again, they're doing it in these tools, the tools themselves have like a banner at the top with their navigation. They have something else saying how many resumes you have. And so that means there's less than half of a page to see your resume without having to scroll down. And so as much as you can get in that top of fold real estate, so that right away, even without scrolling, I can see, yes, this person has the experience I'm looking for. They've worked at a company or they've had a job that relates to the one I'm hiring for. Man, that just greatly improves the chances that this person will advance. And a couple other tips here. List your jobs in reverse chronological order, meaning put your most recent job first. I've seen some where they reverse it and you have to scroll all the way down to see where they're currently working or where they've most recently worked. Frankly, I don't care a whole lot about where you worked maybe 15 years ago. Where I care about it is what you've most recently done. 2 or 3 bullet points per job. I'm not, and most hiring managers will not read 20 bullets. And a lot of times there are a bunch of big fancy words in there. I don't know if people think that like putting big fancy words in there improves their chances. It doesn't. I'd love to see a very specific result. Grew sales 5 times in 2 years, or built and managed a team of 25 engineers. Be really clear and specific. Make it easy for me to see exactly what you did. Don't put a bunch of fluff words in there. I'm not going to read them. And I think those are the big things. Reverse. If you do want to put a headline at the top, make the headline very specific to the job you're applying for. Ideally, it maps directly to the very first bullet in the requirements section of the job listing that you're looking for. So in other words, if a job usually starts off with how many years of experience you're looking for in a certain type of job or a certain industry. If you have that, lead with it then. So if you see a job posting that says 5+ years of accounting experience at startups, then, and if you have more than that, it's okay in your headline at the very top to say 8+ years of accounting experience in early stage companies. Again, no fluff. Don't put in fancy words that anybody can say. Put very specific things that describe your experience, and that is going to give you such an advantage over most of the other candidates who are putting a bunch of fluffy stuff in there that don't mean anything. Don't put photos and headshots in there. Hiring managers should not be making hiring decisions based on what somebody looks like. Unless you're hiring for like a model or something where that is actually part of the job. But for the most part, that just puts hiring managers in really hard positions. It puts them at risk of perhaps bias. So don't include a headshot. It just takes up valuable real estate. It pushes your work experience down below the fold. You don't want to do that. And I think those are the big things. That's probably not what most professional resume writers are going to tell you to do. But here's the thing, a lot of those people are not reviewing resumes in the same way that a hiring manager is. For those people, like that is their day job. They get to just do that all day long. For hiring managers, reviewing resumes is just one little thing of a lot of things that they have to do every single day. Make it easy for them. Boring is better. Get your work experience as far up on the top as you possibly can. Avoid all the fluff. Avoid all the weird graphics and the funky layouts. It just makes it harder for a hiring manager to advance you, and they're going to put you in the skip and review bucket. You do not want to be there. It's better to be rejected. Again, you can move on. Hey, so thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. If it was, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It won't cost you anything, but it does help the channel. And then when you see that little bell button pop up, hit that, and this way you'll get notified when we post more tips from real hiring managers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.